Hi, beautiful souls. Happy Monday. So, I'm being called more and more to talk about forgiveness and what it will mean for yourself and your twin flame journey. If those listening are on one, if you're not, I promise you there are goodies in here for you too. I'm doing a live forgiveness session tomorrow evening, October 20th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time if you'd like to join in. There's no participation required. I'm going to walk everyone through the path of forgiveness so they can have a tool in their pocket that will help them with further moments or other stuff that they want to work through. If you can't make it, that's totally okay. It's going to be put on my IGTV channel as well as my YouTube channel. Now, to the good stuff. So let's face it, no one wants to actually deal in forgiveness. Even if it sounds amazing and heavenly and peaceful, no one wants to go there, because to get there, you have to relive in some capacity what caused a wound so deep that forgiveness is required. Nobody wants to go there into the dark and shine a light, because most wounds were created when we were children, and the way we see things as children, everything is so much more amplified than they are, right? When things are so painful, we just lock them away and we don't want to deal with them again. But I feel like we're shifting into a place where we can look at these things and realize that they aren't the monsters that we thought they were. So maybe that'll be another discussion another time, some shadow work, some dark night of the soul, good stuff. But here's the thing. We've been conditioned as a safety mechanism to distrust and hold people accountable for even minor things. And when you're observing the situation, you are in control and you can step back to not participate in the trauma. It's not to say that you won't feel things, because you will, and it's so important that you do, okay? But when you're observing things, it kind of detaches from being in that moment all over again. It's not like reliving it, it's witnessing it. It's a very different energy. But forgiveness is so important. Like and we'll kind of get to that, but part of the reason we hang on to those feelings and hold resentment is because our feelings were never really validated. They fell on deaf ears, or we lacked the courage to speak them, or we didn't want to hurt someone else or cause someone else pain, so we shoved them down. And forgiveness is so important because it reminds you that it's not your job to hold someone else accountable for their actions. That if you suffered the burden of being hurt by someone, then you also don't deserve to continue to suffer the burden. You see, forgiveness isn't for the other people, it's actually for you. And yes, energetically it will release them, but in that logic it will release you too. I love forgiveness for a couple reasons. One, it's one of the greatest acts of self-love you can make, and it's an instant game changer when it comes to vibrational energy. I like to call it the landing space, the switch from low vibe to high vibe. So it moves you out of low vibe feelings of guilt and shame and sadness to a place of neutrality and clarity, a bit of a higher perspective, so you can consciously allow love, joy, and happiness in. So how does this affect your twin flame connection? Okay, well, by default, the connection mirrors back to you anything not in vibrational alignment to your purest form of self. So by that logic, any low vibrational energy you're hanging on to will be reflected back to you. Your divine counterpart may have hurt you in a way that was exactly how someone in your past has hurt you. And when we, as in all humans, not just twin flames, carry the emotional wounds of our past around like it's our job, the patterns of those circumstances keep showing up in our lives until they're healed and released. Kind of to say, hey, I'm still here and I'm not serving your greatest and highest good, so you need to deal with me. The really cool thing about this process is that at its core, it's all about you. You don't need to have these conversations with other people. In fact, it's better if you don't. And that's only because if you do, two things are happening. One, you're looking for them to validate how you felt or how they made you feel, which defeats the purpose of allowing yourself to validate you, which is super empowering, by the way. And two, you're giving them the power to decide how healing this will be for you based on how they react or receive you. So when we walk through forgiveness, we have an opportunity to be in control. And control is a choice. And by choosing to face these things, you're in charge. Control is super important for your protective ego because the pain you experienced made you feel helpless. And when you're choosing you, yourself, and your healing, you're no longer helpless. You get to take your power back in the most beautiful way. So we get to flip the script on that, own our experiences, and decide how we're going to feel from here on out. But first, we gotta let go of the pain. And for some, you may not know who you are without it. But I just feel like, wouldn't it be incredible to find out? To be able to know that no matter what has ever transpired, what is transpiring, and what will transpire, that you have the means to handle it no matter what. Eventually, you'll get to a place where forgiveness isn't necessary because you'll be so good at knowing what's yours and what isn't. But until then, you have this in your back pocket. So I hope to see you guys tomorrow night. I hope that this has helped in some capacity. Be your peace, love yourself, share your light, and have an amazing day.